Alright guys, welcome back to another tutorial, and yeah, let's try to use those difficult times and those isolation, try to get something creative from it. So yeah, I hope that all of you are and your family is safe, and I hope it will stay that way. So yeah, let's gonna hit up the studio. Actually a lot of you asked already like about the kicks, and as I said, kick is the most difficult part, and even for me and for some experienced artists it takes a long time to create a kick that is actually useful. For me, usually the process of the kick is around 2 weeks, and it's around 2 weeks. It's just like, as I said, it's because when you make a kick you need fresh ears to hear is there something else to fix. But the best way to do it is to make something, to leave it there, and to come back tomorrow when you're fresh ears, and to do that the first thing when your ears are really fresh, before listening to anything. Just go inside and hear it out, and you should be able to hear it straight away. One more thing also, I wasn't able until I built this studio with pretty good the acoustics here, and SM9 as well as Dangerous Music D-Box DA converter, and I can say I have like pretty good equipment here. So basically now I'm ready to create those parts and to be like sure that they sound good. Like this one here I did like few days ago, and I'm gonna show you because I still have the original process. Let me show you how does it sound. This kick here is just a reference, is the kick that I made like few months. But this time I wanted to make more something, the kick that is like more in the mids, more like asterisk, vertical mode, and this kind of artist style, like more like tuck tuck. This one, but when we hit up with a hi-hat, actually hi-hat is really important here. And so far I managed to find only 2 hi-hats for the kick because yeah, it's really problematic, you know, like when it comes to the kick, it will take like 50% of your mix. If the kick is bad, there is really small chance that you will be able to get a good mix of the track. Bassline as well is another 25. So let's say if you have kick and bass and like the whole drums ready, this is 75% of the mix done. Like all the mids and all the single shots, if you have the kick and bass and hi-hats and snare on a good levels and good designs, everything else should become really easy, you know, because mixing mids when you have the drums ready is kind of nothing serious. There are a few steps to follow after that, and you should be able to have a pretty good mixes. So yeah, this is the kick as it sounds right now. And basically it came up from from kick 2. Yeah, so this is kick made in kick 2. How I did it, basically you have the pitch here, and then you try to... Kick 2 is pretty difficult one. Why? Because now I'm just gonna save this one, and I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna play around, and I'm just gonna move just a little bit. Here you have the zoom option. Just another thing, when you start making it, turn off the distortion, the drive on 0, and compressor, nothing of that we won't need. Maybe somebody will put a little bit of drive on it, but I like them to be clean and subby and to have a nice punch on it. So basically you're gonna spend a lot of time. And the click, actually I inserted this hi-hat that I have here, I just inserted in the click 1, just to hear how it's gonna sound with this hi-hat. But I want to have it exported as clean, because I can put hi-hat after that and control the level of the hi-hat in the project. Because now when you have only the kick and bass, you will put a level of the hi-hat on some point, but it doesn't mean that when you start hitting up with the hi-hats and leads and everything inside, that maybe you want to reduce it. So if I bounced with the click, I won't be able to reduce the hi-hat. So basically I just muted it. And here is the nice, if you click on this point and you zoom in, let's just take off this view, and if I just move this a little bit, you will hear how it's changing a lot. So you need to be really careful with this. Even this glide here and everything is kind of... So basically this is how it looks. I use always like the pitch section and amp section. For this kick I put it a little bit of the attack inside. Usually I do it with no attack, but for this one, to get this more mid kind of kick, it's pretty important. So what I did here, actually, when I did a synthesis of the kick with the amp and everything, the length 339 milliseconds, I just set it just like 4% of distortion. It gives something on the low mids, something like more sabby, but it's actually nothing. And here EQ, you have low mids, high mids, and high. But if you go to edit, you will have the like graphical EQ. So I just boosted for like, let me see, 1.2 dB on the highs. And here on EQ, what I did, like, here is 0.2. This is basically was probably more up. Actually, I don't need this one. And one more on the highs, like high shelf 1 dB on 5 from 500. So basically everything after 500 is boosted. Then I have a fab Q here. Let me play it without any processing here, and without EQ, and even without EQ. So it's a little bit like it's okay. I just want to show you, like, even if you have a synthesis that is good, still you need a lot of processing to get a nice kick. So okay, I'm gonna turn on the EQ in kick 2. And let's skip now to fab Q. So what I have, I reduced like for 0.2 dB on 1K, I boosted a lot on 118, 120, reduced in 64, boosted on 196, and boosted a little bit of 378. So without this frequencies, like before I upgraded to SM9 from 100 till 200, is what I always felt as like a mud. But when I upgraded my speakers, I realized that this frequency is really important. I'm just gonna bring on the digicheck here so you can see. So if you see like the kicks like this dip here is good, but it will give a lot of sub to your mix, and everything will sound subby. Basically what I want to make flatter from 50 to 100 to be like a flat line, and then to go a little bit down, because the area of 300, 400 is really problematic for kick. Actually, I don't like it to have a lot in Psytrance. For other music it's really important, but for Psytrance doesn't sound so good. We have here, and then I have this Geo EQ 30 where I reduced this peak of 60. As you can see, it's peaking right here. I just reduced this one. So basically you have 50 and 100 the same amount. All right, and then I have PHA 979 for the phasing, and I found the spot where it sounds the best. Now we don't need this one anymore. It's like giving a little bit more, and this is of course the oscilloscope, which is just gonna show me the waveform of the kick. Just a second, 1/4 note. And as you can see, it looks a little bit different. But after this, I bounced it to wave, this one. And what I did here, actually, if you saw this curve is going up and down, I actually fixed it. So what I'm trying to do is to keep this area like going smoothly and up till here, and then to start going down where is the area of the first note of the bass line, just to like fade out. And if you can see, the level is just a little bit more down than in this area here. So this is the main punch of the kick, this area right here, and this one is a little bit reduced with the fade out and everything. But what is good in Cubase, actually, I'm sorry for you Ableton users, but this is one of the main reasons why I'm still in Cubase and why I love it so much, because here we can sorry, it's here, yeah. So I can just select this one, maybe delete it, or what I do is I reduce or make it up or down, and then I bounce it. And after that, you usually get some kind of little bit of clicks, but for that there's a trick as well. LFO tool. But what I do with the LFO tool is actually I'm not using the volume. If you can see here, I don't use sidechaining volume. I use cutoff and turn on the filter. So basically, it's gonna leave the dot on the first part of the kick. Let me do it like this. So imagine it's gonna do like, sorry, yep. So let me turn it. Let's turn off everything. J. There is something you can hear something because I used to fix all these amplitudes, and after that, when I put this one, actually it clears it out. It leaves the high and the high information only in this part. So if this is 1/14, 1/4 actually. So it's gonna like having a filter like going like this over here. So it's gonna clear out all the body of the kick from the highs and everything. It's like you are doing a high cut every time it envelopes it hits. Then I reduced again like the 63. J is in there, but I didn't do. This is my favorite EQ, but I didn't do anything. Yeah, I did. So I boosted again on 150 to have a more body on it. And here I reduced the lows for half of decibel, and I boosted on 600, on 6000. Just to get this dot on it. And then I put it this was without the bass, and then I added the bass, and I realized that I'm missing a lot from 10K to 20K. So I just brought a multi-band envelope shaper. And this is problematic also for Ableton users, because if you put Trance 6 on it, it will not do the same. Because if you put on 500 here, that means the kick will not change the phase at all. But if you put on Trance 6 on 250, it's the maximum. It will still change the phase a little bit. So I don't have a replacement for this for Ableton users in this moment. So what I did, I just booted a transient for 2.6 dBs on from 10K to 20K. And it's not much, but in mix, when it goes with a hi-hat, what I don't like is this top end of the sine pitch down. You get something that bothers, and if you want, the only way to get rid of this is to cut these high elements. So this is why the kick hi-hat is the really important one, because it's gonna cover this like high tones of the kick and make them like sounds a little bit better. Because I like a lot like this high information on the kick. it's kind of harsh, but with the hi-hat it's like perfect. And yeah, that's it. That sounds the kick in the bass. This tutorial also supposed to be a short one, but can I see it here how much it's recorded? 17 minutes. Okay. Thank you for watching and see you in the next tutorial.